Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Liam from Push Square, and Sony have just this afternoon released a brand new video titled PlayStation 5 Teardown, an up-close and personal look at the console hardware. In the video, Vice President of the Mechanical Design Department, Yahiro Otori, performs what can only be described as an ASMR autopsy on the upcoming console. I mean, he literally dismantles it into its core components. It's very strange and worth a watch. There were a few interesting revelations in the video, but the most exciting is the existence of easily removable faceplates. So I'm here today to talk about those faceplates and a few other little bits and pieces we learned from this latest video. Before we start, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, it would really help us out. Okay, so let's start off by talking about ports. The video revealed that the front of the PlayStation 5 contains a USB Type-C port and a Type-A port, and around the back you have two USB Type-A ports, a LAN port, a HDMI port, and a power port. This was all to be expected, nothing particularly surprising about this. In terms of cooling and fan noise, the video kind of demonstrated the reason why the PlayStation 5 looks the way it does is all about cooling. For starters, the gaps between the white panels and the inner console itself are air vents. The entire back of the unit is an exhaust port. Attached to the central unit itself are two massive fans, and inside the system itself is an absolutely ginormous heatsink. Sony are clearly serious about both fan noise and keeping the inner components of the system cool this generation, and the entire console has been designed around the most effective way of moving air out of the system and into your living room. So all those jokes about it looking like a Dyson fan aren't too far off. It's genuinely being designed with the same principles in mind. So I'd be very surprised if the PlayStation 5 ever gets hot to the touch or sounds like an airport when you're playing the latest games. We saw a demonstration of how to place the console on its side. The base is held in place by a screw when placed vertically. Once you remove the screw, it can be stored into the base itself. There's a little plastic bit to pop in the back of the console, and then the stand clips onto the back so you can balance your PlayStation 5 on its side. Does it look a little bit silly? Of course it does, but it's a practical solution and quite smart in its execution. I don't actually mind this personally, it's a little bit fiddly, but I owned a PlayStation 3, so I'm not that unfamiliar with consoles looking a bit strange when they're placed on their side. And it was also demonstrated how we can expand our SSD storage. There is a little slot that can be unscrewed on the central system that reveals a PCIe 4.0 expansion slot. Seems reasonably easy enough to expand your storage, we just need to know what we can expand it with at this point. And finally, we have the faceplates. So these faceplates are very exciting to me. I expected them to be held in place by a screw or perhaps permanently fixed to the central unit. In fact, the faceplates can be easily slid off at any time. Practically speaking, this gives you easy access to the central unit itself. There are holes for dust collection that you can stick a hoover into, and you can also access the expansion slot by popping off the sides. However, because they're so easy to remove, it raises the possibility of customizable faceplates. Now, we've seen customizable faceplates pop up on a few other consoles before in the past. The most famous example was with the original Xbox 360 that allowed you to pop the faceplate off so you could replace it with a Doritos one if you were so inclined to do so. The new Nintendo 3DS also had customizable faceplates that were of a much higher quality than the Xbox ones and made your handheld feel like a special edition even if it was just a standard console. So it could stand to reason then that the PlayStation 5 will have customizable faceplates. It would make a lot of sense considering how easy they are to replace. You could buy custom ones that are different colours. Perhaps we'll see some thrown in as pre-order incentives or just sold separately by Sony and other third-party peripheral manufacturers. This would be an easy way for Sony to release the much sought-after black version of the console. They could easily just package up two black faceplates and sell them separately. They could even sell game-specific faceplates. We'll definitely see special edition systems over the PlayStation 5's lifespan, so it would stand to reason that they might sell these special edition plates separately as well as included with a special edition console. You could even mix and match them, seeing as the front front and back faceplates are separate. So if you wanted a black and white console, maybe you want a special edition God of War faceplate on the top and a Star Wars one on the bottom, you could make absolute monstrosities if you so wanted to, and I think that's quite fun. So overall, this video was very short and sweet, but it was nice to see a little bit more of the console. It looks to have been designed by some very intelligent people, and Sony are committed to providing a cool and quiet console. The design may not be to everyone's taste. I personally think it looks fantastically fun, but at least we now know that it serves a practical purpose, and hopefully it'll let you have a little bit of fun customizing it as well, which is something you just don't see much of anymore. So thank you so much for watching this little reaction video to this PlayStation 5 teardown. Would you like to see some customizable faceplates? What kind of faceplates would you spend your cold hard cash on? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe to Push Square for everything PlayStation. Thank you as always for watching.